Hello everyone, how are you today? In today's lesson, we're going to deal with a very important group of expressions that are widely used in the English language. There are over 25,000 of these kind of expressions. But don't worry, you don't have to learn all of them, but they are a very important component of the language. I'm talking about idioms. Idioms are groups of words or expressions whose meaning is different from the literal meaning of its words, okay? Maybe you're confused by this definition, but an easy way for you to understand it is by comparing it to what we use in our own language. In Spanish, we also have idioms. Sayings like ser pan comido or tomar el pelo are clear examples of Spanish idioms. And as you can see, you cannot translate those expressions into English or any other language. It's the same situation when it comes to English idioms. Idioms use figurative language, which means that the words are used in an unusual manner or imaginative manner. So you may be wondering, if those expressions mean something else, how am I going to understand them? Well, my first advice is that you look at that expression in its context and then try to deduce what it means. Every time you read, you watch videos, or you listen to people speaking, you will encounter these phrases that sound weird if you take them literally or if you try to translate them, and those are probably going to be idioms. You should look it up in the dictionary and avoid any confusion. So now I'm going to show you some examples of English idioms. A very common one is to have a skeleton in the closet. If you took that expression literally, it would mean that this is what you have in your room, right? You have a skeleton in your closet. But that's not what we mean when we use that expression. What we actually want to say is that you have a secret that will cause embarrassment. But today we're going to deal with one kind of idiom. Idioms that are related to the face, okay? So another example that is related to this topic is this one. You've got egg on your face. If you took it literally, word by word, it would mean that this is your situation. But what we actually want to say is that you look foolish or you embarrassed yourself, you were made to look stupid, basically. So now we're going to see some meanings of the word face. We all know the literal meaning of face, which is this. But did you also know that face can mean this part of watches or clocks? You know, these fancy watches, you can change the faces and customize them. Those are the faces. You can use face as a noun, as in this case, which usually means appearance. For example, you can also say, put on a brave face. That means that you should take courage. And you can also use face as a verb. When it's used as a verb, it usually means that you should confront or take a close look at something, take a clear look at something. For example, face the consequences, okay? So now we're going to do an activity together so that you start activating your idiom detector. I'm going to show you pairs of sentences and you have to try to identify which one contains an idiom, okay? Let's see the first pair. A. It's written all over your face. B. There's a bug on your face. Which one, if you translate it or if you take it literally, sounds weird? It's sentence A. It's written all over your face. What this idiom means is that there's a person who has something written all over his face, cannot hide what he's feeling, right? His thoughts or his feelings are shown clearly on their face. Let's see the next pair. Sentence A. Are you sick? Your face went pale. Sentence B. You have to face the music. Now, in this case, which one do you think has an idiom? If we translate face the music, what would it mean? Something like confrontar la música. That doesn't make sense, right? So this is the idiom. In this case, this idiom means to face or to confront the consequences after you've done something wrong, or basically receive the punishment for that wrong action that you did. And the last pair. Sentence A, they want to save face. And sentence B, he was angry and his face was red. Which one contains an idiom? In this case, it's sentence A, to save face. That's the idiom. This means that you pretend that everything is okay when something that is damaging your reputation, something bad happened, and you try to hide it, okay? That means to save face. Now, something that I want to clarify is that you may encounter phrases that can be used literally, as well as with their idiomatic meaning, okay? One example of this is the expression to fall flat on one's face, okay? That expression can be used literally, and it would mean to fall and land on your face. For example, I slipped on the banana peel, I fell flat on my face, and I almost broke my nose. Now, if you take that expression and use it as an idiom, it would mean that you failed thoroughly or in a spectacular or embarrassing way. For example, she was terrible in the play. She fell flat on her face. The whole play fell on its face, okay? But idioms tend to be used with their non-literal meaning, okay? This is like an exception or a weird case. Now, to end this lesson, I'm going to give you a task. You have to read the list of idiomatic expressions with face, choose only 3, and think about what that possibly means, okay? Here's the list. You can pause the video and take a look at each of them. Only pick 3 and think about what it possibly means, okay? Now, once you've done that, I want you to write their meaning. This time you will check it in the dictionary to make sure that it means what you thought, or if you didn't know what it means, you will find out. And then you have to write 2 examples for each idiom. For the examples, you can write dialogues or short sentences, but make sure that it shows how the idiom is used, okay? I will show you an example of how you would do this activity. Let's say that I use take something at face value, this idiom. I would go to Google and write that down, take at face value. Here you can see the first result is from Longman Dictionary. That's good enough. You can use this one. And here it is. take something at face value means to accept a situation or accept what someone says without thinking there may be a hidden meaning. And then you have some examples. You can read them if you want to get a better grasp on the meaning of that idiom. But don't copy these examples. I want you to write your own. So you will write the idiom, the meaning, and the examples. As I mentioned, you should try to show through your examples how you should use that meaning. So instead of writing something like, I don't take things as face value, you can improve that example and say something like, I've learned to question what people say and do. Now I don't take things at face value. Here you are showing that if you are questioning what people say and do, you are not accepting what they say or what they do without thinking, which is the meaning of taking something at face value. In the same manner, instead of saying, I took the offer at face value, you could write, I took the offer at face value. I didn't think they may be trying to trick me. Now that example is better and it shows how this idiom is used, okay? That's all for today. However, if you want to learn more about idioms and see some of the most common English idioms, you can visit this webpage, and here you will find some extra information and a short list of popular idioms, as you can see right here. So that is all for today. If you have any questions or comments that you want to tell me, you can do it. Just send a message and I will read it. That's all. Bye bye.